Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. MEXC is turning 7 and we are excited to celebrate with our special partnership. You can enjoy this event with exclusive rewards only with the referral link below. This is the daily close for Bitcoin to see what happened today and what it might happen in the next few hours and also for tomorrow. So basically right now we were looking for this impulse toward the upside and it was interrupted with some volatility and some of course tension news of course in the US market. Now basically what we are looking at inside this impulse is a double 1 2 3 4 5 and then 4 and a 5. Now this wave 5, it doesn't look finished. Of course, we were still looking to finish this wave 5. But yeah, after this kind of like sideways correction, we saw the drop toward the downside and invalidation, of course, of this impulse. And kind of like creation as well of another impulse. Now, I know this looks very corrective and I really cannot really find any kind of like impulse inside it, unless of course if you go to the 1 minute chart, you still can see potentially that you might have kind of like leading diagonal, but still of course very micro, and also that I don't know, it might be of course the wave 5 longer than wave 3 as well. However, we don't have any other option here rather than taking it. The problem comes again of course here, unless of course you want to take 1 2 3 4 and a 5. I don't know if this is also impulsive. It's very micro, guys. So the problem on the very micro level, you cannot really trust it so much, and it can be much more indicating something else. However, what we have here is an invalidation and we're looking at a potential finished expanding flat. However, I don't still see any signal yet of course continuation toward the upside impulsively, because of course of this wave here. You see potentially A, B, and a C here, where you have finished 3 structures, and yeah, that might means also it can be 1 2 3 4 and a 5, but still of course a very low possibility right now to say that we are still continuing very impulsively, unless in case we are an impulse, you would like to see invalidation. So basically, if we take this price action here right now is invalidation of lower prices, right? And in this case scenario, of course, I would make sure or give higher probability that we might continue towards the upside. If we don't take this price, I cannot really say that we are still continuing for higher. We are already in potential 1 2 3, and you're looking for a wave 4 and yeah, maybe continuation toward the downside, unless of course this is taken in a way or in another. Yeah, but here if I wanted to say that this is wave 1, also very doubtful. You cannot really call an impulse here. So as you can see, the market start to get very noisy starting from here. We were doing great since of course this impulse, everything was looking great, very nice, until of course something went wrong in the market over there. It became very noisy, impulsive, and now noisy again. So of course now it is readjusting itself, but you would like to see of course what's gonna happen. If you take this price, therefore I would call a continuation for this scenario, which is in a bigger view. You're still looking, of course, for this blue zone as 1-to-1 fib level, at least as an A, B, and a C. So A, B, and a C toward the upside. In case that we don't take this level and we continue toward the upside, something else is definitely unfolding, which is the following scenario potentially, where we have a very complex structure corrective toward the downside, where we have W, X, and a Y. For a wave A potentially finished here, and you have another W, X, and a Y right now for a wave B. And as you might have seen here, this zigzag taken from here, A, B, and a C, can be finished, of course, as 0.618. You have a finished zigzag and you have a bridge as an X in between, of course, to finish, of course, W, X, and a Y. However, I don't like how they look, the Y and the W. They don't match so much. I mean, both are zigzags, so it is double zigzag structure, but they don't match in scale. Yeah, so it's not invalidation, of course, but always we say it should be looking nice. However, if this is the case scenario, of course, therefore we are looking to something very complex here as a wave structure for a wave B, and then of course we're moving toward the downside continuation of a wave C, of course, of a major wave A of this bear market, meaning wave A still moving toward the downside. We gonna see, of course, a drop from there after those three corrective waves. So this is a possibility right now, and you know that this structure as well is very, very complex, which it can be as well taken as a W, X, and a Y in different scenario. And that means we can bring the wave A to be finished exactly at this low rather than this one, right? And in this case scenario, you have something else unfolding, which it might be still looking for higher anyway. And that means, of course, even if you finish W, X, and a Y here, you might have three waves toward the downside, and then, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even a bigger W, X, and a Y. However, I doubt it because you already have a very complex structure in case you have a W, X, and a Y here. But if we get three waves down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you might finish therefore the wave B over there, meaning expanding is this, of course, wave A and the wave B in the top. So three major scenarios that they are playing here. And of course, the possibility right now is remaining in this scenario, where we see, of course, this invalidation taken. If we see the 87K800 taken again, therefore we can call, of course, a bullish scenario is continuing toward the downside. Well, it's a bullish trend, I would say, but it is continuing from this scenario where you have, of course, at least an A, B, and a C toward the upside to finish, of course, in the blue zone here. And then start to move toward the downside again for a wave C. So these are the possibility. This is, of course, right now, I cannot give it the highest possibility because it's still under this invalidation price. I would like to see this invalidation price hit to give this higher potential again. Currently, we are, of course, in higher possibility with this scenario, where we have hit the uncommon target for 0.618 in a zigzag here for W, X, and a Y. And that means, of course, in both case scenario, if you finish a wave A here, you're looking towards the downside potentially after three waves structure, right? W, X, and a Y, you're looking towards the downside. Or if you have finished a wave A here and you're looking at this W, X, Y also finished there, meaning, of course, as well, you're looking at least for three waves down and then continuation toward the upside. So these are the highest possibility right now. It goes for this one just because of the interruption and the invalidation of the impulse that we saw here toward the upside. Now, don't forget that here we still can be, of course, in an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. So meaning whatever is going to happen in this area, it can be, of course, a large wave 4 and then continuation for a wave 5 to hit the 1-to-1 fib level. Yeah, very possible. But I would like to see again the 87K taken to, of course, come back to this scenario. So, yep, that was it for Bitcoin. Let's see what's going to happen. Very complex structure, guys. So trade safe, of course, and the market is not helping so much. There is a lot of tensions and bad news, of course, affecting the price. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.